Mansour, Mendoza, Miller, Mitchell, Monning, Morrell, Nistande, Nilsson, Norby, Olson, Pan, Perea, Vimanuel Perez, Portantino, Silva, Skinner, Smythe, Solorio, Swanson, Torres, Valadeo, Wagner, Wykowski, Williams, Yamada, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, members, we have a quorum. We ask our guests and visitors to please stand. To please stand for the prayer. We ask our Assembly Republican leader, Ms. Connie Conway, to offer today's prayer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. Let us pray. Most compassionate and merciful God, Scripture tells us you are a creator of great diversity. From the highest of heights to the depths of the sea, we see creation revealing your majesty. From the snow-capped Sierras to the sparkling Pacific and to the lush redwoods to the arid Mojave, every creation exclaims your incomparable work for which we give deepest thanks. We bow before you now to ask for your blessing for today's Woman of the Year ceremony. We are so grateful to live in a land where outstanding women from every background can serve others in special ways. Whether it's serving as city's first female mayor, her children's school PTA president, her church, or her local business association, we are humbled by their accomplishments. Thank you for giving each of them a tough hide and a tender heart, as Ruth Graham, one of your most faithful servants, once prayed. Please grant today's honorees renewed strength to continue to carry out their work to improve their communities. Help them, O God, to continue to persevere in the midst of adversity. And help us, O God, the elected representatives of this state, to continue to persevere, to find common ground as we work for a more just California. May you grant everyone in this chamber today the wisdom and humility to seek your will as we carry on with our daily lives. Amen.
We ask our guests and visitors to continue to stand for the pledge. Please join Assemblymember Nora Campos as she leads us in the pledge. Ms. Campos.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As we pledge and honor our flag, we also honor the women that have contributed to the great state of California today as Women of the Year. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Reading of the previous day's journal.
Assembly Chamber, Sacramento, Thursday, March 17, 2011. Assembly met at 9 a.m. Honorable Speaker Pro Tem of the Assembly presiding, Chief Clerk E. Dawson Wilson at the desk. Reading clerk Timothy Moore. The reading. The roll was called as Shajan, Alejo, Allen, Amiano, Atkins, Bell, Berryhill, Block, Blumenfield, Bonilla, Bradford, Brownlee, Buchanan, Butler, Calderon, Campos, Carter, Cedillo, Chesbro, Conway, Cook, Davis, Dickinson, Donnelly, Ing, Fuhr, Fong, Fuentes, Furutani, Gaggiani, Garrett, Gatto, Gordon, Garrell, Grove, Hagman, Halderman, Hall, Harkey, Hayashi, Hernandez, Hill, Huber,
Mr. Allen moves and Ms. Conway seconds that the reading of the previous day's journal be dispensed with. Presentations of petitions, there are none. Introduction and reference of bills will be deferred. Reports of committees will be deemed read and amendments deemed adopted. Messages from the governor, there are none. Messages from the Senate, there are none. Motions and resolutions. Absences for the day will be deemed read and printed in the journal. Mr. Allen, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, I request unanimous consent to suspend Assembly Rule 45.5 to allow Assembly members Carter and Lowenthal to have guests and photographers on the floor.
Without objection.
Ms. Lowenthal will also have guests at the rostrum to the Assembly observance of Women's History Month.
Without objection.
Furthermore, pursuant to Rule 96, I request unanimous consent to refer the following bills to committee. AB 379 Hageman to the Judiciary Committee, to the Rules Committee. AB 1015 Calderon from the Local Government Committee to the Human Services Committee.
Without objection. Okay, we're now going to proceed to the women's ceremony for today. Ms. Lowenthal will be presiding. Ms. Lowenthal.
Madam Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Can we return to motions and resolutions first?
Without objection.
Thank you. Madam Speaker and members, today is a very special day in the Assembly. Not only will we be honoring Women of the Year, but today also marks the 5th annual Canada Day at the Capitol. Canada Day allows us the opportunity to recognize and celebrate our vital relationship with Canadian friends and colleagues. As many of you know, Canada is California's second largest export market. Our bilateral trade helps support over 900,000 California jobs, and Canadian firms here in our state directly employ over 44,000 of our constituents. In addition, 1.5 million Canadians choose California as their special holiday destination each year. And Canada is by far the greatest source of energy it takes to keep California running. Today, we have joining us to help mark this occasion the Honourable Cassie Doyle, Canada's Consul General in San Francisco, the Honourable David Fanson, Canada's Consul General in Los Angeles, and senior representatives of the provinces of Alberta, British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec. And as a symbol of Canada, probably more famous than the maple leaf, we also have Constable Kristen Ryan of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Members, please join me in welcoming our distinguished guests and honoring one of California's most important international relationships.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, members and colleagues and Women of the Year honorees. You will notice that all of the Women of the Year honorees are wearing a yellow rose today. The yellow rose was a symbol of support during the suffrage movement, which began in 1860. It took over 50 years to make progress. 100 years ago, California allowed women the right to vote, but it wasn't until August 26, 1920, that the United States passed the 19th Amendment to the Constitution that allowed all American women the right to vote. We're all very proud of the yellow rose that you wear today. Susan B. Anthony once said, "There will never be complete equality until women themselves help to make laws and elect lawmakers." How right she was. And as we sit here today celebrating 100 years of California women winning the right to vote, we continue to grow. We grow and make change because of women like you. Welcome, all of you, to the 2011 Woman of the Year special ceremony. Each March during Women's History Month, we celebrate and honor remarkable women. We recognize and pay tribute to California's women and the many ways in which their lives and work are changing California. Today, we take a respectful pause from our regular business to honor you and your achievements, your courage, your leadership, and strength. Each of you reflects what it means to be a woman and a Californian. I'm appointing a committee on escort to escort our first speaker to the rostrum. The escorts should retire to the rear of the chamber as your name is called. Assemblywomen Atkins, Bonilla, Brownlee, Butler, Mitchell, Olson, Torres, and Yamada. Please escort the Attorney General, Kamala Harris, to the rostrum. Please be seated. I'm proud to introduce Attorney General Kamala Harris. On January 3rd, 2011, Ms. Harris was sworn in as the 32nd Attorney General of the United States, of the state of California. Okay, we're not there. We're not there. I guess some people didn't mind that slip. Okay. Attorney General Harris stressed in her inaugural address that she will seek innovative approaches in tackling the state's toughest problems. Attorney General Harris is the first woman, the first African American, and the first South Asian American to hold the office of Attorney General in the history of California. Please welcome Kamala Harris, Attorney General of the state of California.
Good morning, and thank you, Member Lowenthal, for that generous, extremely generous introduction. And thank you, Mr. Speaker, Madam Minority Leader, and Madam Speaker Pro Tem, and the distinguished honorees. Today we are here to honor women who are leading their communities, and leading in many ways. In reflecting on the significance of women winning the right to vote, I think it's critical to recognize all the ways in which we lead, to honor all the kinds of work we do and the full range of contributions we make. For generations, up until a century ago, we were limited in terms of how we could contribute to public life. Most critically, we could not vote. That fact was part of a broader view of the role of women, a view that said we were less than full citizens. But for generations, women have been exercising leadership in a myriad of different ways. Long before we won the ballot, we were educators, organizers, and leaders. For me as a lawyer, the story of Clara Fultz has been of particular inspiration. She became the first woman to be admitted to the California State Bar as an attorney in 1878. It wasn't until 1920 that the 19th Amendment became part of our Constitution and we gained the ballot. She was, like so many of you, ahead of her time. And she, like so many of us here today, also had to fight to accomplish her goals. She applied to my alma mater, Hastings College of the Law, but was denied admission at first. So she sued and won. But even after she graduated, they wouldn't admit her to the bar at first. Because you see, the law back then defined lawyers as males. So she changed the law to read persons, and she ended up being the first woman to serve as a prosecutor in the county of Los Angeles. And I'm sure Clara might chuckle today if she read the 2011 California Government Code, since Section 12502 says the Attorney General may appoint employees as he deems necessary for the proper performance of his duties in office. But Clara Foltz, like so many women here today, had more than one job. Clara Foltz had 5 children. She was also a journalist, a business leader, and a state correctional officer. And that speaks to another wonderful thing about the group of women we have gathered here today. There are women in this room who are working tirelessly in many different roles. Doctors and lawyers, teachers and nurses, business leaders and nuns, moms, wives, grandmothers. Working without requirement of recognition, working without expectation of award or reward. The legislators who represent your districts found you angels who work among us for others without ever getting weary. And they brought you here today to honor you for the sacrifices you make, for being the first to do many things, but committing to never be the last, for being a voice for many, many other women in our communities who work alongside us with common purpose. I applaud each of you for your dedication, and I congratulate each and every one of you for being honored here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Attorney General Harris. In keeping with our previous practices with regard to this ceremony, the names of the honorees will be read in district order. At this time, members who represent the first 6 districts should retire to the rear of the chamber. The first 6 districts. Ladies and gentlemen, members, honorees, and guests, we will now begin the special ceremony to honor our Women of the Year. Assembly Speaker John Perez, Republican leader Connie Conway, and myself, Vice Chair of the California Legislative Women's Caucus, will present the honorees with a specially prepared certificate after they are escorted into the chamber by their assembly member. The clerk will please read the names of the honorees for 2011.
From Assembly District 2, Margaret John, escorted by Assemblymember Nelson. Margaret John has worked tirelessly to advocate for the underserved in Shasta County. Her professional experience includes Shasta's Women's Refuge, Blood Source, and Northern Valley Catholic Service. She feels it important to be the voice for those in need. She has served on numerous boards to be that voice. From Assembly District 3, Colleen Cecil, escorted by Assemblymember Logue. Colleen Cecil is Executive Director for the Butte County Farm Bureau and a member of the California Women for Agriculture. Her efforts on behalf of California farmers and landowners are tremendous. Colleen is a graduate of CSU Fresno and now lives in Chico with her husband Jake and son Clayton. From Assembly District 5, Charlotte Donnermeyer, escorted by Assemblymember Pan. Raised in a community-minded family, Charlotte considers volunteerism and philanthropy a given. As a resourceful and enthusiastic worker, she feels fortunate to serve at leadership levels for a variety of organizations. Each position has provided its own reward, as well as an opportunity for her to meet and work with many generous kindred spirits. From Assembly District 6, Mary Evelyn Arnold, escorted by Assemblymember Huffman. A well-known volunteer throughout Sonoma, Mary Evelyn Arnold is treasurer of the Vintage House Board, organizer of the Wednesday Cooking Crew at Meals on Wheels, birthday cake baker for Wilmar Center, and unofficial cat color at Pets Lifeline. Recently named Sonoma's honorary mayor, Mary's generosity and vast contributions are immeasurable. From Assembly District 7, Belle Santos, escorted by Assemblymember Allen. Belle is a driving force for various activities in Vallejo and the Bay Area, a former field representative for Senator Wes Chesbro. She currently works for Planned Parenthood, serves as leader for the Filipino Youth Coalition, and was recently recognized as one of the most influential Filipino women in the United States. She's an avid photographer, a passionate spirit, and enjoys being Auntie Belle to hundreds of youth in the Bay Area. From Assembly District 9, Sister Janine Fell-Leon, escorted by Assemblymember Dickinson. Sister Jean Fell-Leon's advocacy for the poor and disadvantaged is legendary and always understated. For 35 years, she has led Stanford Settlement, a vital social services organization that has improved the quality of life for all ages by working tirelessly to add a comprehensive senior center and teen center for at-risk youth. She is of the religious order Sisters of Social Service. From Assembly District 10, Kathleen Harmon, escorted by Assemblymember Chesbro. Executive Director of Amador's Interfaith Food Bank, Kathleen Harmon advocates for her agency at the state and federal level while she oversees fundraising, food procurement, and distribution for 4,000 people each month with an all-volunteer staff. In her spare time, Kathleen serves on Amador County's Disaster Prevention and Homeless Task Forces, Community Health Awareness Council, Sierra Gold Quilt Guild, Volcano Theater Company, Sutter Creek Church of the Nazarene, and many other worthwhile groups. From Assembly District 11, Chandra Scherer, escorted by Assemblymember Bonilla. Chandra Scherer is the Executive Director and founder of the Monument Crisis Center, a nonprofit agency in the Monument Corridor in Concord. The center provides more than 6,500 people per month with food assistance. Under the direction of Ms. Scherer, the center runs other programs, including a domestic violence program and youth programs such as the Youth Action Brigade, which provides teens a place to learn life skills, leadership, and perform community service. From Assembly District 12, Celine Kennelly, escorted by Assemblymember Ma. Celine Kennelly immigrated to the U.S. from Ireland in 1999. She's Executive Director at the Irish Immigration Pastoral Center in San Francisco, a nonprofit advice and referral service for Irish immigrants and the wider Irish community. A tireless advocate for immigration reform, Celine exemplifies giving back to community. From Assembly District 13, Sasha Bittner, escorted by Assemblymember Amiano. Sasha Bittner has dedicated her life to ensuring that people with developmental disabilities and their families receive the services and support they need to achieve self-determination, independence, productivity, and inclusion in all aspects of community life. From Assembly District 14, Karen Weinstein, escorted by Assemblymember Skinner. Karen Weinstein, chair of the California Democratic Party Women's Caucus. Karen established a mentoring program between young women and women leaders. She is fiercely committed to mentorship, the fight to get more women in elected office, and the call to women to take up the challenging work of public service. From Assembly District 15, Linda Best, escorted by Assemblymember Buchanan. Linda Best is president and CEO of the Contra Costa Council and the Economic Partnership, organizations of business, education, public, and nonprofit leaders focusing on economic vitality and the quality of life in Contra Costa County. She is the past chair of the John Muir Health Board of Directors and the Workforce Development Board. Linda received her BA and MA degrees from Stanford University. From Assembly District 16, Mayor Jean Quan, escorted by Assemblymember Swanson. The Honorable Jean Quan became the first Asian American woman to lead a major U.S. city when she was elected mayor of Oakland in 2010. A tireless advocate, tireless public servant for more than 20 years, Mayor Quan will continue her work building strong partnerships and developing solutions that work for Oakland. From Assembly District 17, Susan Eggman, escorted by Assemblymember Galgiani. Susan Eggman was elected to the Stockton City Council in 2006. She advocates for affordable housing, literacy, reducing crime, and push Stockton towards green technology. She's a veteran of the U.S. Army, received a BA in psychology, a master's in social work, and her PhD in social work and research. From Assembly District 18, Kathy Watt, escorted by Assemblymember Hayashi. Kathy Watt served as chair of the California Dental Association Political Action Committee. As chair, she served as a well-respected voice for dentists, their families, and their patients for over 20 years. Ms. Watt organizes the dental community to provide healthcare services for underserved children, and she volunteers her time and energy as a community leader to many children's charities, including Christine Amaguchi's I Have a Dream Foundation. From Assembly District 19, Deborah Odom, escorted by Assemblymember Hill. Deborah Odom is passionate about service to the community. As project director for the Retired Senior Volunteer Program in San Mateo County, she helps seniors and retirees stay healthy and active by connecting them with rewarding volunteer opportunities. Deborah provides advice to seniors on how to protect their nest eggs as a presenter for the California Department of Corporations Seniors Against Investment Fraud program. From Assembly District 20, Sharia Westra, escorted by Assemblymember Wykowski. Sharia Westra has been an active participant of the Fremont Education Foundation Board for over 5 years, currently serving as president and is involved with the Initiative Education Grant Program. Ms. Westra is a full-time elementary teacher at Niles Elementary School in Fremont Unified and serves as the first vice president of the Fremont Unified School District Teachers Association. From Assembly District 21, Audrey Rust, escorted by Assemblymember Gordon. Since 1987, Audrey Rust has served as CEO of the Peninsula Open Space Trust. Under her leadership, POST has worked successfully in partnership with public agencies and private landowners to preserve over 53,000 acres, an area nearly twice the size of San Francisco in San Mateo, Santa Clara, and Santa Cruz counties. From Assembly District 22, Tabitha Capeller-Hurley, escorted by Assemblymember Fong. Tabitha Capeller-Hurley is a trailblazer in the field of education. She began her career as a teacher in the Santa Clara Unified School District and is currently serving the PIO, Career Technical Education Coordinator, and the Gaines Girls Achieving Non-Traditional Subjects Coordinator for Santa Clara Unified School District. Her focus, dedication, and commitment inspire her students to achieve greatness. From Assembly District 23, Rolanda Pierre Dixon, escorted by Assemblymember Campos. Assistant District Attorney Rolanda Pierre Dixon established the first domestic violence unit in Santa Clara County. Her dedication to ending domestic violence is widely known and admired. A champion for victims' rights, Ms. Pierre Dixon has ensured laws protect victims and that perpetrators are held accountable. Her commitment is inspiring. From Assembly District 24, Patricia Gardner, escorted by Assemblymember Bell. Patricia Gardner is the Executive Director of the Silicon Valley Council of Nonprofits, representing over 200 health and human services agencies in Santa Clara County. In her time at SVCN, she has led advocacy efforts that have resulted in the restoration of millions in government funds that were slated to be taken from nonprofits that provide invaluable services to the community. In 2008, she was named one of the 80 women of influence in Silicon Valley by the San Jose Business Journal. From Assembly District 25, Lynn Dickerson, escorted by Assemblymember Olson. Lynn Dickerson is currently the Chief Executive Officer of the Gallo Center for Arts. Previously, she has served as Vice President for the operations for the McClatchy Company and President and Publisher of the Modesto Bee. Lynn is also a devoted community volunteer. She has been actively involved with a number of civic and charitable organizations. Lynn has recently created the Ryan Dickerson Memorial Scholarship. From Assembly District 28, Sharon Silva, escorted by Assemblymember Bill Berryhill. Sharon Silva, CEO of the Turlock Chamber of Commerce, has a long history of improving opportunity, prosperity, and economic vitality in the Turlock community. Silva is past board member of the Turlock Community Theater, board member of CSU Stanislaus School of Business Administration and Stanislaus County Workforce Alliance Board, managing the Property Business Improvement District and serving as Executive Director of the Turlock Downtown Association. From Assembly District 28, Elvira Zaragoza Robinson, escorted by Assemblymember Alejo. Elvira Zaragoza Robinson practiced law as a private defense attorney, Santa Clara Deputy District Attorney, and worked for the League of United Latin Americans Council. Her public service involved serving as a community college trustee, volunteering with Hazel Hawkins Hospital, and as a coordinator with Bethany Youth Empowerment Center. From Assembly District 29, Lauren Booth, escorted by Assemblymember Halderman. Lorene Booth is a fifth-generation California, born in Pasadena. She is president of the Booth Ranches and lives on her family's citrus ranch in Orange Grove, California, where she also operates a commercial cattle herd in the foothills. Lorene serves as a board member for the Children's Institute, Inc., an organization that works with children traumatized by violence. She sponsors children from Los Angeles to visit her family ranch for a weekend retreat that offers a glimpse of life outside their urban setting in a safe and nurturing environment. From Assembly District 30, Liz Morris, escorted by Assemblymember Valadeo. Liz Morris has distinguished herself as woman of the true devotion to encouraging her community to reach its highest potential. Her persistent dedication to educational excellence is humbling, as she has committed decades of her life to every level of education, from early child development to mentoring youth and high school students, and has been an active board member for the skilled nursing facility in her district. From Assembly District 31, Jeanette Hensley, escorted by Assemblymember Perea. Dinuba City Council member Jeanette Hensley is a devoted volunteer and active member of her community. She grew up working in the fields and retired from the Tulare County Sheriff's Office after 26 years of service, starting out as a deputy and retiring as the county's first female assistant sheriff. From Assembly District 32, Fanny Hernandez, escorted by Assemblymember Grove. Fanny Hernandez was 10 the first time she used drugs and had never been a mother to her kids. After strong mentoring programs and faith in God, Hernandez works as an assistant manager at Today's Cleaners. Named Employee of the Month, has her own apartment with her children, attends church, and staying clean. Fanny mentors with this advice: I've lived as you live. Change is not easy, but it's worth the struggle. From Assembly District 33, Bridget Reddy, escorted by Assemblymember Rashajian. Bridget Reddy exemplifies the very best in the human spirit. She turned the terminal illness of her fourth child, Jack, into an opportunity to create Jack's Helping Hand, a nonprofit organization which enables the greater San Luis Obispo community to come together and meet the unique needs of disabled children and young adults. From Assembly District 35, Carol Lindberg, escorted by Assemblymember Williams. Longtime Venturan, dedicated to the protection of the environment and the improvement of her community, has been a key, steadfast researcher and frontrunner in issues that may otherwise go unnoticed. From Assembly District 36, Carrie A. Puckett, escorted by Assemblymember Knight. Carrie A. Puckett is the first Vice President, Regional Manager for the Desert Community Bank, an East-West bank with over $2 billion in assets. Carrie started in the banking industry over 30 years ago, and with hard work and sacrifice, has achieved a high-level management position. Carrie's accomplishments extend far beyond her profession. They begin in her home with her marriage of 32 years and 2 successful sons. From Assembly District 37, Janice Parvin, escorted by Assemblymember Conway. Janice Parvin is currently the mayor for the city of Moore Park, California, and is serving her second term. During her tenure representing the city, she has become an active voice within our region. She is the chair for the Ventura County Council of Government and the vice chair of Ventura LAFCO. Janice is also on the board of the California League of Cities. From Assembly District 38, Patty Rasmussen, escorted by Assemblymember Smythe. Patty Rasmussen has been serving the Santa Clarita community for over 25 years. She has served on the PTA, the PAC boards, and committees, has been involved in numerous nonprofit fundraising events. She was the education writer for The Signal and currently works as a freelance reporter for KHTS AM 1220, SCV-TV, the Magazine of Santa Clarita, Inside Santa Clarita, and West Ranch Beacon. From Assembly District 39, Norma Gallegos, escorted by Assemblymember Fuentes. Norma Gallegos is a longtime advocate for the community. She established the St. Didatius Food Ministry, providing food to over 100 families, created the Detention Ministry to provide support to families of the incarcerated, and helped raise over $15,000 towards scholarships for high school and college students. Norma is also a dedicated volunteer to numerous community organizations in the San Fernando Valley. From Assembly District 40, Linda Pruitt, escorted by Assemblymember Blumenfield, chair of the Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council's Emergency Preparedness Task Force. For over a decade, Ms. Pruitt has initiated and coordinated community emergency response team classes throughout neighborhoods in the San Fernando Valley. Ms. Pruitt is also a member of Assemblymember Blumenfield's Valley Public Response Emergency Preparedness Task Force, where she works diligently in promoting the Get Prep campaign message of doubling the number of CERT volunteers in the San Fernando Valley. From Assembly District 41, Jill Baldoff, escorted by Assemblymember Brownlee. Jill is a 30-year veteran of the advertising industry with her own agency, Ampersand, and key client Hasbro. She is vice chairman of the board of Chrysalis and a member of the board of the Broad Stage, Los Angeles Opera, Blue Ribbon, and Santa Monica Canyon Civic Association. From Assembly District 42, Madeline Alfano, escorted by Assemblymember Fuhr. In 1985, Madeline opened the first Maria's Italian Kitchen in Sherman Oaks. Now with 10 locations and 400 employees, she is board member of Shane's Inspiration and Max Redson Memorial Fund and is the president of the LA chapter of the statewide California Restaurant Association. She is also the president, LA Board, National Association of Women Business Owners, LA. From Assembly District 43, Cynthia Landeros, escorted by Assemblymember Gatto. Cynthia was a first grade teacher at Edison Elementary. She won Teacher of the Year award in 2009. She lost her job due to budget cuts in 2010, but was rehired and currently teaches third grade at Horace Mann Elementary in Glendale. Cynthia is working on her master's in education and bilingual credential. From Assembly District 44, Beth Constanza, escorted by Assemblymember Portantino. Beth Constanza has served as the executive director of the Arcadia Chamber of Commerce since 1999. She has served as a commissioner on the Arcadia Beautiful Commission and has been a member and chairwoman of the Monrovia Community Services Commission and the Monrovia Arts Festival Committee. Additionally, Beth served on many organizations as a board member, such as Foothill Unity Center, Foothill Family Services, and Foothill Workforce Investment Boards. She also served on the Arcadia Red Cross Board, Rotary, Kappa Alpha Theta, Sorority, and Girl Scouts. From Assembly District 45, Angelica Salas, escorted by Assemblymember Ng. Angelica Salas, Director of the Coalition for Human Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles, since 1999 helped win in-state tuition for undocumented immigrant students and established day labor job centers that have served as a model for the rest of the nation. From Assembly District 47, Dr. Antoinette Tony Yancey, represented by Octavia Miles, escorted by Assemblymember Mitchell. Dr. Tony Yancey is currently a professor in the Department of Health Services, UCLA School of Public Policy, and is co-director of the UCLA Kaiser Permanente Center for Health Equity. Dr. Yancey's primary research interests are in chronic disease prevention, with a focus on organizational practice and policy change and adolescent health promotion. Her research includes adolescent health, particularly childhood obesity and inactivity, and a diabetes demonstration project with community health councils. She is being represented by Ms. Octavia Miles. From Assembly District 48, Gwendolyn Green, escorted by Assemblymember Davis. Gwendolyn Green served as Executive Director of the Western Christian Leadership Conference. In 1965, she was assigned to the position of Assistant Scope Director, reporting to Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Her dedicated work for justice and equality for all has included Community Outreach Director for Long-Term Home Health Care Workers, Local 634. From Assembly District 49, Karen Wong, escorted by Assemblymember Ng. A graduate of Berkeley Law School, Karen Wong is currently Vice President of Programs Communications at the Asian Pacific American Legal Center. Karen has a distinguished history of fighting for the rights of disadvantaged communities, including immigrants, limited English speakers, low-income families, and gays and lesbians. From Assembly District 50, Jacqueline Brown, escorted by Assemblymember Lara. Jacqueline Brown is kitchen operator at Rosa Parks Elementary School in Linwood. For over 13 years, she has worked tirelessly to provide students with nutritious, healthy meals. As a union activist, Ms. Brown was pivotal in helping campus monitors form a union in her school district. Ms. Brown is equally esteemed by faculty, students, and staff for her invaluable dedication to the children of Linwood Unified School District. From Assembly District 51, Allison Suffet Diaz, escorted by Assemblymember Bradford. Allison Suffet Diaz is the founder and executive director of Environmental Charter School in Lawndale, California. Allison started her career as an education attorney and developed a blueprint for Environmental Charter School that now serves over 430 students and has received recognition for its innovative programs by U.S. News World Report, the California EPA, and the White House. From Assembly District 52, La Florence Marie Hollis, escorted by Assemblymember Hall. Ms. Hollis is a longtime Compton resident and leader with Concerned Citizens of Compton Group. She has been instrumental in the fight to return accreditation to Compton Community College. Ms. Hollis is also on the forefront of identifying and nurturing emerging civic leaders in the city of Compton. From Assembly District 53, Gila Katz, escorted by Assemblymember Butler. Gila Katz serves as the police chaplain for the Hermosa Beach Police Department. Katz conducts weekly Shabbat services at several senior facilities throughout the district. As a Red Cross disaster chaplain, she spent 3 weeks at Ground Zero in 2001 and several weeks in Mississippi after Hurricane Katrina. A tireless community activist, in 2010, Katz spearheaded the effort to build and install a 9/11 memorial bench in Hermosa Beach to honor those who died in the terrorist attacks. From Assembly District 55, Jane Takubo, escorted by Assemblymember Furatani. Jane Takubo has been dedicated to the Harbor Gateway Gardenia community for over 25 years. Her steadfast and tireless commitment to her community is exemplified by volunteer work at the 186th Street Elementary School and the many volunteer leadership posts she holds. At the Gang Alternative Program, the Gardenia Drug and Alcohol Abuse Prevention Task Force, the Harbor Gateway South Neighborhood Council, and many others. From Assembly District 56, Linda Gonzalez, escorted by Assemblymember Mendoza. Linda Gonzalez is a longtime resident of the city of Artesia and a nutritionist for the WIC program in Cyprus. Linda has managed to find time to help families in the surrounding 56 Assembly District communities who are in need of assistance. In addition to her community service, Linda is raising 5 bright children on her own. All of her children have learned from their mother and have followed in her footsteps of serving the community. Assembly District 57, Betty Nixon, escorted by Assemblymember Hernandez. Betty Nixon has dedicated her life to serving the people of Baldwin Park for nearly 30 years. She has been a member of the Baldwin Park Women's Club and Friends of the Library, where for 25 years she has volunteered her time to the children of Baldwin Park and neighboring communities in the East San Gabriel Valley. From Assembly District 59, Carol Banner, escorted by Assemblymember Donnelly. Carol Banner has a tireless servant's heart. She has provided exceptional service at the San Bernardino Mountain community as president of Rim of the World Realtors Association, members of Rim of the World School Board, and a volunteer and chairperson of Rebuilding Together, a nonprofit organization working to rebuild lives. From Assembly District 60, Mary Sue, escorted by Assemblymember Hagman. Ever since coming from Taiwan in 1982 and moving to Walnut in 1988, Mary Sue has been committed to helping her community. Currently a City of Walnut council member, she has earned extensive praise from the constituents of Walnut and also the larger Chinese community because of her civic and educational contributions. From Assembly District 61, Letitia Gavilanes, escorted by Assemblymember Torres. Empowering her community to live stronger and healthy lives is Letitia Galavani's passion. Her work began 12 years ago with Montclair's Por La Vida program by helping a community prevent illness such as diabetes and heart disease. Her love for the community doesn't stop there. She also volunteers for the American Diabetes Association, is an organizer for Montclair's Breast Cancer Walk. From Assembly District 62, Josie Gonzalez, escorted by Assemblymember Carter. Josie Gonzalez serves as the chair of the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, the first Latina to serve in this role. She represents the 5th District on the board, chairs the San Bernardino International Airport Authority, and co-chairs the Inland Valley Developmental Agency. A lifelong resident of San Bernardino County, the supervisor's goal in office includes creating local jobs, providing clean drinking water, improving air quality, and developing smart growth communities that offer safe neighborhoods for families. Supervisor Gonzalez has built strong relationships on federal, state, and local levels. She believes that when we work together, we can accomplish great things. From Assembly District 63, Kathleen J. Teagues, escorted by Assemblymember Morrell. Kathleen Teagues currently serves as president of the Board of Directors for Cucamonga Valley Water District. Ms. Teagues has been an active member of the community as a volunteer for the Girl Scouts of America, PTA, AYSO, and the Rancho Cucamonga YMCA Fundraising Committee, receiving many awards for community involvement over the years. From Assembly District 64, Reverend Patricia Spicer, escorted by Assemblymember Nastande. Reverend Patty, a Stanford University graduate, holds a teaching credential and is ordained in religious science. She has mentored students along their ministerial path and counseled hundreds of individuals to more successful lives. She serves on the board for the Marywood Palm Valley School, as co-pilot for her husband on Angel Flight medical missions, and as the wedding officiant in her business, An Exceptional Wedding. From Assembly District 65, Anita Worthen, escorted by Assemblymember Cook. Anita Worthen volunteers with many organizations, including the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the USO, and the Beaumont Chamber. She began the Neighborhood Watch while serving on the Beaumont Safety and Facilities Committee and initiated the Veterans Expo, benefiting over 500 veterans. Anita always says, do the best you can, do something to give back, and it will make your whole life better. From Assembly District 66, Janine Corral, escorted by Assemblymember Jeffries. Janine Corral has served as the board clerk from the Lake Elsinore Unified School District since 1988. Ms. Corral holds a BA in History and an MA in Social History Women's Studies, magna cum laude from Cal State Fullerton. She works for 2 local newspapers, is an author, and has served on a number of volunteer communities, and is an organizer of the annual Unity in the Community Parade. From Assembly District 67, Diane McGlinchey, escorted by Assemblymember Silva. Diane McGlinchey serves on the National Board of American Women for International Understanding, an organization that works closely with the United States Department of State to promote goodwill and grants for women of courage worldwide. A military wife to Joseph for 50 years, she was elected president of DC's Air Force Officer Wives Club during our nation's bicentennial. Diane and Joseph have 7 children and 10 grandchildren. From Assembly District 68, Lena Nguyen, escorted by Assemblymember Mansour. Lena Nguyen is an anchor for KCAL Channel 9 News in Los Angeles. She came to the U.S. in 1975 as a refugee from Vietnam and has become an Emmy award-winning journalist. Lena inspires girls from the 68 district and beyond by showing what is possible with persistence and hard work. From Assembly District 69, Lucy Santana Arnelis, escorted by Assemblymember Solorio. Lucy Santana Arnelis is Executive Director for Girls Incorporated Orange County, providing girls with an after-school and summer programs to improve self-esteem, prepare them for higher education, and become economically independent. She positively inspires the life of over 4,800 girls ages 4 to 18 to be strong, smart, and bold. From Assembly District 72, Patty Segovia Kraus, escorted by Assemblymember Norby. Patty Segovia Kraus founded the All-Girls Skate Jam, an annual event dedicated to girls of all ages and skills in skateboarding. Patty has been featured in Sports Illustrated for Women in Time magazine for her efforts in promoting skateboarding for girls. She graduated from UC Santa Barbara and resides in Fullerton with her husband Kevin and her son Ashby. From Assembly District 73, Sandra Waker, escorted by Assemblymember Harkey. Sandra Waker was born in Missouri and moved to Oceanside, California, where she has been recognized as a top salesperson in Southern California many years running for her work at her print shop, The Printery, which she owned with her father. A mother of 2 boys and stepmother to 2 boys and 1 girl, she married her current husband, Navy Captain and physician Dr. Norman J. Wecker, in 2001. Wecker is currently on the executive board for ORWF and serves as vice president for the San Diego County Federated Republican Women. From Assembly District 74, Marie Waldron, escorted by Assemblymember Garrick. Marie Waldron serves as a strong advocate for community revitalization, job creation, and public safety in her capacity as council member for the city of Escondido. As a community leader, Marie is a respected champion for small business and a driving force for economic development. She shares a downtown business with her husband and has a son. From Assembly District 75, Sharon Lawrence, escorted by Assemblymember Fletcher. Sharon Lawrence is Chief Executive Officer for Voices for Children, an organization dedicated to the empowerment of abused, neglected, and abandoned children in San Diego. For nearly 15 years, Sharon has worked tirelessly to improve the lives of children by placing them in loving and nurturing homes. We congratulate Voices for Children this year as they celebrate their 30th anniversary of giving back to our communities. From Assembly District 76, Ronnie Froman, escorted by Assemblymember Atkins. Admiral Ronnie Froman served in the United States Navy for 31 years, commanding naval installations around the world, and retired a 2-star admiral. She has received numerous awards, including Defense Distinguished Service Medal, San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce Spirit of San Diego Magazine Women of the Year, Women's International Center Living Legacy, Girl Scouts Cool Women, and San Diego Business Journal Women Who Mean Business, to name a few. From Assembly District 78, Marty Emerald, escorted by Assemblymember Block. Marty Emerald excelled as an award-winning broadcast journalist for 30 years, most notably as the troubleshooter from San Diego's ABC TV affiliate, where she investigated thousands of consumer complaints and resolved community problems. Her reputation as a passionate problem solver continues in her role on the San Diego City Council. From Assembly District 79, Pamela Ben-Susan, escorted by Assemblymember Hueso. Pamela Bensusan believes that growth and development in Western Chula Vista can be achieved without sacrificing our neighborhoods and quality of life. She is the city's representative to the ICLE Local Governments for Sustainability, the worldwide Think Globally, Act Locally organization. Councilmember Bensusan serves on the Otay Valley Regional Park Board, Sandag Bayshore Bikeway Community Animal Care Facility Subcommittee, the City Schools Task Force, and the Friends of the Villa Montezuma. From Assembly District 80, Inez Cardoza Freeman, escorted by Assemblymember Torres. Dr. Inez Cardoza Freeman is retired from a long distinguished professional career as an educator at College of the Desert, UC Riverside, and Ohio State University. She is an author and contributor of various books on feminist thought, including The Joint Language and Culture in Maximum Security Prison. She is the recipient of many awards for her outstanding leadership, dedicated teaching career, and her lifetime as a humanitarian. She is still very active with various civic and social causes within the greater Riverside County. From Assembly District 54, Maria Norvell, escorted by Assemblymember Bonnie Lowenthal. Maria Norvell has been an active volunteer in the Long Beach community since 1986. Maria is a founding member of the Wrigley Area Neighborhood Alliance, currently serving as president of the organization. Maria is also a member of the Long Beach Police Chiefs Executive Advisory Group for the Neighborhood Watch Program and has presented the Gold Shield Award. Past accomplishments include Long Beach Public Safety Commissioner for 12 years, Mary Butler Award nominee for numerous years, and recipient of the NCCJ Award 2001. From Assembly District 34, Francis G. Levy, escorted by Assemblymember Conway. Francis Levy built a successful career in education and business, then retired to pursue full-time her passions in the arts and the church. She serves as executive director for the Tulare County Symphony Association and ministers to inmates at Valley State Prison and Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla. Francie contributes to numerous charities and believes that every moment can be better than its predecessor. From Assembly District 46, Sister Janine Lechtenberg, SNJM, escorted by Speaker John A. Perez. After serving as teacher and administrator at local elementary and junior high schools for 30 years, Sister Janine Lechtenberg, SNJM, founded the nationally and internationally renowned Puente Learning Center in 1985, a multi-generational learning center for children and adults, which provides need-specific educational instruction to more than 3,000 economically and educationally disadvantaged students each day.
Now, as we continue our centennial suffrage celebrations, I would like to appoint and Escort Committee for our keynote speaker. I'm appointing a committee on escort to escort our second speaker to the rostrum. The escorts should retire to the rear of the chamber as her name is called. Assemblywomen Buchanan, Carter, Galgiani, Hayashi, Harkey, and Skinner. Please escort the Secretary of State, Deborah Bowen, to the rostrum. Please be seated. I'm proud to introduce another remarkable California woman, Secretary of State, Deborah Bowen. After serving in the legislature for 14 years, Deborah Bowen became only the second woman to ever be elected Secretary of State. She is a pioneer in open government reform, elections integrity, and personal privacy rights, and only the sixth woman elected to a statewide constitutional office. She has always been a champion for women's rights, even serving as chair of the Women's Caucus while she was in the Assembly. Secretary of State, Deborah Bowen.
Good afternoon. And thank you so much for the kind introduction, Assemblywoman Lowenthal. It's my great pleasure to be back here on the lovely green carpet. I have fond memories of the many struggles and joys that we experience when we actually participate in democracy. When it actually comes down to the doing, there really are arguments, disagreements, and a tremendous amount of passion that goes into the work. And of course, passion going into the work is why each one of you who are being honored today as Woman of the Year are here. There was something about you that stood out to the Assembly member who chose you, some kind of passion, some kind of commitment above and beyond the ordinary that drew you to the attention of people in your community and ultimately of the Assembly member who has brought you here. And we're here today during National Women's History Month, and it is still a source of continuing amazement to me that I was only the sixth woman in the history of this state to be elected to a statewide constitutional office. I'm very glad no one told me that until after I was elected. And I am proud to say that the voters of California have now added one more to that number by electing Kamala Harris as our Attorney General. And we now have 7 women elected statewide. This year we are celebrating the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage in California. Now, you might think that a state that prides itself on being on the forefront of cultural movements, social movements, just about every important thing in history that you could imagine would also have been on the forefront of women's rights, including women's suffrage. But ever since California became a state in 1850, women have had to fight for an equal voice. And it's actually true of the entire country, because when this country was founded, in most states, you had to be white, male, and own 50 acres in order to be able to vote. So probably there are not too many people sitting here in these chambers today who would have had the right to vote. California did give women the right to vote? That doesn't seem right. No. Women in California took the rightful right to vote finally in 1911, but it was not the first try. It had happened, the first attempt, a couple of decades earlier, and the first attempt at women's suffrage succeeded in 56 of 58 California counties and lost because of the objections of voters in San Francisco and Alameda counties. So think a little bit about this, because it was always a puzzle to me. How is it that these two places that we think of as being at the forefront of civil rights and very liberal or whatever, how was it that they had so many votes against giving women to write that they canceled out the vote of the other 56 counties? Well, the answer lies in a movement called the Women's Christian Temperance Movement. And the time, because it was a time of the gold rush, and it was a time when there was a fair amount of gambling and some small amount of alcohol that went along with the gambling. And the establishments that conducted the gambling and served the liquor were, many of them, located in Alameda and San Francisco counties. And there was a great concern that if women got the vote, that the Women's Christian Temperance Movement would seize the day and ban alcohol and gambling. And even the San Francisco Chronicle ran an opinion against giving the right to vote to women. I think it may have had something to do with their advertising base. So it's always, to me, been just a wonderful and surprising story of California's history. But if you are concerned about how we look, I'm about to make you feel better. I'm going to read you the provision in the Texas Constitution that was in place until 1918. And the Texas Constitution, and I always have to read this because I don't want to get it wrong. The Texas Constitution mandated that all Texans should have the right to vote except, quote, idiots, imbeciles, aliens, the insane, and women. So you can go back to feeling really good about being a Californian now. We have come a long way, we really have, but we still have a lot of work to do. And when I became a part of the Assembly in 1992, there still were fewer than 100 women who had ever served in the California State Legislature. And women still have not hit above the 30% mark. And it's important because we want our young people, our young men and women, our high school students, our kindergartners, to feel like they can do anything they want to in life, no matter who they are, no matter what race, what ethnicity, what part of the state they come from, regardless of their gender, no matter what their family background or whether their family ever owned 50 acres, that they can do anything, become the governor of California, become the president of the United States, or the next CEO of whatever the car company is that gives us fuel-efficient vehicles that have us not needing foreign oil that takes us into places where some of us would rather not have us be. We want young women and young men to have all of those opportunities, and it has been my primary focus as Secretary of State to be there to encourage young men and women to participate in their democracy by voting and by doing the other kinds of things that happen in a democracy. And I know that all the women who are being honored today are here because they play a role in the civic fiber of their communities. They have had an important role to play, many different roles, and if you go to the Women's Caucus website and read the biographies, I think you can truly be inspired. It is the model that we want to set for our young people, to show the difference that a single person working in a community can make. And it's the reason that I very quickly said yes to the opportunity to be here today, because I want to say thank you to each of you who's being honored. It is this kind of work, very local work, often unsung. Many of you probably have never been recognized before, although I know a few have stood for election. And it is that recognition of what it takes in a democracy for all of us to build the kind of community that we want to live in and that we want our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren to grow up in. Now, you probably haven't seen me much around California during election time because I did learn a thing or two from other secretaries of state, and one of the things I learned was that if you are the chief elections officer, you have no business co-chairing a presidential campaign or taking sides and endorsing in an election, any more than you would expect the fourth grade class president who's running for fourth grade class president to be counting the votes in the back of the room. Those functions have to be separated. And so my role has been to assure the integrity of the voting system, and which California did with a top-to-bottom review of our voting systems that was done in 2007. We learned that we had some problems with security. We took action, and I can say to you very confidently now that I'm absolutely certain that whoever is sworn in to represent you after election is actually the person who got the most votes. And that is what's supposed to happen in a democracy. So thank you all for being here today, for participating, and remember as you leave here that to whom much is given, much is asked, and that means it's up to each of us to pass it on, not physically necessarily, but the spirit of doing. That's what we're after in a democracy, is to pass on the spirit of being a part of the answers. Regardless of your beliefs, which side of any issue you come down on, we do democracy by participating. And we hold our elections, and we're okay even if we lose because we believe that the process is fair, and we know that we will have an opportunity in the next cycle to make our point of view heard again. And I think for many of us, it's what is so extraordinary about watching the spontaneous uprisings in the Middle East of people who just want that opportunity to have their voices heard and to be part of a process that they know that they can trust, and that gives everybody an equal opportunity and an equal voice in determining the outcome on any particular issue. So great work to all of you. Thank you for being out there doing that. Thank you all for inviting me to be here and to share both California's history of giving women the vote and that of our neighbors in Texas. And I look forward to seeing you all at the reception afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary of State Bowen. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. We who serve you here in the state capitol are honored you have joined us and that you've accepted our commendation. On behalf of the California Legislative Women's Caucus and the members of the State Assembly, I'd like to thank all of our special guests for joining us today, and once again extend congratulations to each of the honorees. This concludes our ceremony today. Thank you.
Okay, members, we're going to, if you could escort your members out the back of the chambers, and we still have a couple of items that we need to take care of on our daily file, and so members, please don't leave the chambers. Members, we have business on the daily file we still need to attend to. Please come back to the chamber. Okay, Ms. Carter, would you like to introduce your guests?
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. If you could join me in welcoming members of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority for their legislative day in the Capitol. Delta Sigma Theta provides assistance and support through established programs in local communities throughout the world, including economic and educational development, physical and mental health, and political and international awareness. With us today is Dr. Laverne Gray Davis, the Far West Regional Director, Crystal Evans, the Far West Regional Representative, and Jackie DuPont Walter, co-chair of Social Action. So if you could join me in welcoming these ladies of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority to our chambers today. Thank you.
Mr. Hall.
Yes, Madam Speaker, members, I also rise and would like to welcome the Delta sororities, my sister sorority. I'm a member of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, and these are this is my sister sorority, of which, by the way, I do serve them. They are actually the boss of me, and they all are here. And I believe we have some 100 members of the sorority here today, or at least they were here over the weekend. But they also had some 300 young women, young girls here during their mentor day over the weekend. And so we want to recognize their efforts as mentors, not just a day mentor, but they mentor throughout the year, every year. They're one of the greatest sororities on this side of heaven, and I'm actually happy to be their brother and a member of the Omega Psi Phi, their brother fraternity. Again, let's welcome the Deltas to the Capitol.
Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. And I, too, want to recognize and acknowledge the great work of the dynamic women of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. We're not their brothers, but we have always had great fondness for these dynamic women. And I would like to say that Dr. Laverne Davis has been very active in South Los Angeles and a supporter. And my very first supervisor when I served as a field representative for the 48th District some years ago is Jackie DuPont Walker, who's here today. So she was the chief of staff, and I was a field representative in the district that I now am the assembly member of because of the great training she helped provide for me. So again, Madam Speaker and members, it is my honor to witness the great work of the women of Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
Mr. Allen.
Madam Speaker, there was a committee report at the desk relative to AB 93. I request unanimous consent to adopt the committee report and to allow Mr. Lara to take up AB 93 today without reference to file for the purpose of concurrence in Senate amendments.
Seeing and hearing no objection, the committee report is deemed read and deemed adopted. Mr. Lara, without reference to file, ACR 93. AB 93, clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 93 by Assemblymember Lara, an act relating to elections, declaring an urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Mr. Lara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. AB 93 will serve to ensure that the City of Bell has a sound mechanism for the certification, declaration of results, installation of officers following the city's March 8th elections. Given the absence of a functioning City Council for roughly over a year now, the statutory requirement that the City Council adopt a resolution declaring the election results, it is necessary that the legislature provide a procedure for the certification, declaration, and installation of a new City Council. AB 93 has received bipartisan support in the Senate and has received no votes. Thank you.
Mr. Fong.
Also, it received a 7-0 vote today in elections redistricting. Thank you.
Ms. Skinner.
Question to the author.
Without objection.
Assemblymember Lara, is this your first bill?
Yes, it is.
I heard reference to bells.
The bill refers to the great city of Bell.
The
not
great
bells.
city of Bell. And yet your bill is happens to be questioning some decisions of Bell. Is this correct? And yet is the great city of Bell?
This is correct. It's a great city of Bell because the individuals responsible for what occurred in Bell do not represent the great working families in the city of Bell.
Mr. Bell. The Mr. Bell.
Madam Speaker, I have a question for the author.
Without objection.
Mr. Lara, are all bells great?
Bells are awesome.
Mr. Fuentes.
Point of order. I don't see an analysis or a wharf on our desk. I recommend a no vote.
Mr. Hall.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. Question from the author.
Without objection.
Mr. Lara, what do you know exactly about bells?
I know that they ring and that they're great.
I'm sorry?
I know that bells ring and that they're great.
They read and that
ring.
They
ring.
They read?
Ring.
They ring? Are you familiar? Are you familiar in any way with ringing bells?
I am not, but excuse my accent. I am an English language learner.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Almiano.
Yes, question of the author.
Without objection.
Mr. Lara, is it true every time a bell rings a fairy dies?
I hope not. We would be doomed.
Mr. Speaker.
Question of the author.
Without objection.
Is the purpose of this bill to tinker with Bell?
Absolutely not. We love Tinkerbell.
Okay, Mr. Lara, would you like to close on this measure?
I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing no further questions or debate, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 68, noes 1 on the urgency. Ayes 68, noes 1. Senate amendments are concurred in. Second reading, clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 354 with amendments.
All bills will be deemed read and amendments deemed adopted. We will recess the regular session for the purpose of convening the first extraordinary session. We are in the first extraordinary session. Without objection, we will substitute the prayer, pledge, and other opening procedures in the regular session for those items in the first extraordinary session. Ms. Skinner is taking up AB 14 for the purpose of amendments. File item number 1. Clerk will read the bill with the amendments.
Assembly Bill 14 with amendments by Assemblymember Skinner.
Ms. Skinner, you may open.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, the amendments for AB 14 do the following. Excuse me. They adopt the project size and cost limits that are identical to those adopted in SB 77, Senator Pavley's bill, which is the predecessor to this bill. They fix a technical error by adding water efficiency to the program eligibility guidelines. They also authorize electric vehicle charging station financing eligibility only if the EV station is part of a project to install energy efficiency improvements and is designed so that the project does not increase overall energy demand. These amendments were discussed and agreed to in Natural Resources and Appropriations Committees. I respectfully request your aye vote on the amendments and ask that the bill be sent out to print and placed back on file.
Seeing no further questions or debate, we can take a roll call on the amendments. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The amendments are adopted, out to print and back on file. The first extraordinary session is recessed. Upon call of the Speaker, we are back in the regular session. Third reading, file item 11, ACR 28. Clerk will read.
Assembly concurrent resolution 28 by Assemblymember Chesbro relative to Earth Hour.
Mr. Chesbro.
Madam Speaker, this is not my first bill. ACR 28 declares the hour of 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. on March 26th as Earth Hour and encourages all city, county, and state employees and businesses throughout the state to turn off non-essential lights in buildings, public schools, landmarks, and other buildings for that hour. Earth Hour highlights the need to conserve energy and raise awareness about the need to conserve resources and decrease our carbon footprint. ACR would unite our state with many jurisdictions around the world under a common goal and would reaffirm our commitment to fight climate change. And if you are a member who doesn't agree with the premise of climate change, I would at least encourage you to support this, as it would save the taxpayers a few dollars during a difficult budget time. I urge you aye vote.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, as a joint author of this resolution, I urge your support of ACR 28. Last year, I authored ACR 133 to make California an official participant in Earth Hour. In 2010, California, along with other states and 128 countries and territories, joined this global call to action against global climate change, making the most successful Earth Hour to date. Many notable landmarks participated in Earth Hour last year, including the Empire State Building, the United Nations headquarters, the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Temple. Since Earth Hour was created in 2007, it's grown to become a powerful international statement that through cooperation, every individual has the ability to shape the world of tomorrow and the responsibility to secure our precious environment for the future. I urge an aye vote.
Seeing no further questions or debate, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 45, noes 12. Measure is adopted. Mr. Lara, your guests.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I just wanted to introduce Pedro Carrillo, interim CAO for the City of Bell, and Jamie Caso, interim city attorney for the City of Bell. They have been instrumental in restoring faith back to the City of Bell and have worked hard with me to ensure that we have an honest and local government in the City of Bell. Thank you.
Okay, the session schedule is as follows. Tuesday, March 22nd. Check-in session, floor session upon call of the Speaker. Wednesday, March 23rd. Check-in session, floor session upon call of the Speaker. Thursday, March 24th. Check-in session. Friday, March 25th. Floor session at 9 a.m. Saturday, March 26th. Floor session upon call of the Speaker. Sunday, March 27th. Floor session upon call of the Speaker. Monday, March 28th, holiday, observance of Cesar Chavez Day. And Tuesday, March 29th, floor session at noon, 12 o'clock noon. All other items will be passed and retained. All motions shall be continued. I am ready to entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Allen moves, Mr. Hagman seconds, that this House stands adjourned until Friday, March 25th at 9 a.m. or upon call of the Speaker. Quorum call is lifted. Floor changes.
Morale, AB 93, no to yes vote. Thank you.
Morale, Assembly Bill 93, no to aye.